Hello Leo, thank you for tuning into your general read. For the main read, I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot by Paul Foster Case and Arthur Edward White. For the supportive cards, the Angel Answers Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. Alright, already shuffled the cards. Looks like we're going to go right through the middle first. You have an interesting read already. No, what is exactly? Does this go with that? Yes. This is what you don't know? Okay. Let's get into this. You don't really have an overall energy, but you're kind of progressing here. So let's start with the beginning and move on. You're walking into this situation with the Strength, which has the Lion on there, the Leo card typically. Now, you're just going about doing what you do. And I feel like you're getting a lot of now I'm seeing like the Yes card here, but I'm getting the word pushback. So I feel like somebody's giving you a hard time. So I feel like somebody's trying to get you to do things their way. And you're kind of relenting to it a little bit. I feel like you're kind of going along with things. To a point. But as that's going, I feel like whoever's giving you like this hard time, you're trying to distance yourself from them a little bit too, because you feel like for some reason you don't want to push back, for some reason, whatever that is. I mean, it's a general read, but for some reason you don't really want to push back, and you're trying to understand what they're doing and why, because they seem to be giving you a hard time, and you're trying to figure it out. You're very well aware that there's a missing piece here. So when you get the Three of Rods next, right above it is get more information. So I feel like you're not engaging too much. You're just trying to kind of get along at this point. But you're kind of like there's a missing piece. You're like, there's a missing piece here. Something's not right. There's a missing piece. And you're clearly wondering, like as you would, because even though they're giving you pushback, they're still like the Yes card on their side makes me really feel like they're being respectful and courteous to you without giving you really the answers on why they're giving you the pushback. But they're not being nasty. They're kind of like almost like a coaching thing. But they are definitely giving you pushback. And you're like, why are they doing this? Because it's a little aggravating, but you're also seeing their intentions, so I don't feel like you're really getting upset, but you're kind of like, and you're kind of like holding off. You're like, you're holding back how you feel about it, and you're curious, because you're like, something's up. Like, there's a reason for this. Like, why are you doing this to me? Like, why are you doing this to me? Now, what you don't know at this point, I feel like this is, what don't you know? The person that's giving you pushback, they have the Seven of Swords, and the meditation brings answers. Now this is on their side, so this isn't advice for you, but this is to understand where their head's at. I feel like they like you and they see a lot of value in you, but there's something about you that kind of makes them nervous. Either that you might be quick to act, or they might feel like you might have a sharp tongue, or you might react to things too quickly. It makes them a little nervous. To them, they feel like you do this to them, how you relate to them, and just the way they perceive you. It doesn't mean that's how you are, it just means that's how they perceive you, if that makes sense. They think maybe you act too quickly or too fast, or maybe you have a quick tongue on certain things that they don't care for, but they like you. Base feeling, they definitely like you and care about you a lot, and they see a lot of value in you. There's just certain aspects of your personality they makes them nervous. They don't get. It's not a bad thing. It's just mismatching personality for you and them. Nothing wrong with you or them. It's just how you match up. Okay, good. Now, they're trying to, because they want you to flourish in some sense, and they're just trying to find out, like they're kind of giving you pushback to see how you react, to see what they can do with this. But you don't realize that's what they're doing. And I'm also getting, as you're trying to figure this out, I feel like you're trying to also see what type of opportunities are also out there for you. Because while I don't know how you feel about this person, because I'm really not getting how you feel. I know that they like you, but I'm not sure that you're very conducive with the pushback, and you might be a little aggravated with it, but you're holding back for whatever reason. This might be a business sense. I feel like the majority of you, this is kind of a business thing. While you're trying to hold back and try to figure out what's going on with them, you also might be looking for other opportunities. And you have the Justice card as the next card. Either in that same company or another company, especially because I'm getting this as a business sense, unless you're in like some type of like a literal business and you're partnership with somebody, but even then you're changing things up. Like, I feel like you're moving on from this person. In one respect or another, however this is happening, you're moving on from this person, because the pushback, even though I don't feel like it's a negative thing, you just don't care for it. And it just seems constant to you, and you're just kind of feeling like somebody's nitpicking at you, and you don't like it, and you want to move on from it. I do feel like they value you and they love you. I do feel like there's a strong, caring connection here. But there's a personality mismatch, and there's nothing wrong with either of you. It's just the way you add up. It just doesn't work. So you're kind of, in one respect or another, you're moving on from this person. Okay. That being said, as you move on from this person, I feel like it feels a lot better for you. And you feel a lot better about your connection with that person by moving on. Like, I don't feel like you wish them bad. Like, I don't feel like you dislike them. I just, not working with them like you have been, you like them a lot better. If that makes sense. Like, the fact that they exist, and like however you see them beyond this position, you're cool with that. You just don't want to work with them like this anymore. So if you're in like a business partnership and you're somehow moving out of this partnership or distancing yourself where you don't have to work with them directly, you like them better not having to work with them directly. I don't feel like you question who they are. You just don't like working with them directly. It just doesn't, you don't like it. So while that's easier for you, there is a moment where, like, you have the Ace of Cups upside down. Like, the relationship seems to, like, empty out. It's like, when you move on from this, you literally move on, and it's, like, done. I don't feel like you mean for it to happen that way for some reason. I feel like you might have social connections in some sense. But when you move on from this relationship, however it is, it's like, it feels literally like a death. When I'm getting the Ace of Cups upside down, I'm also looking at the Justice card, and for a minute there, it looked like a skull figure to me, which makes me feel like this is like the end of that. Like, done. The Ace of Cups reversed, I just feel like there's nothing left of the relationship after. However you move on from this, like, the two of you don't really correspond at all after this. Like, it's done. Like, there's no more correspondence at all. And I feel like the other person who was kind of nitpicking a little bit, they're kind of left looking back at the past, like, what they're questioning, like, what they did to make you move on like you did. I feel like, especially with the Two of Pentacles, like, this person's trying to, like, think of, like, what should I have said? What did I say? They're trying to balance out what actually happened against what they wanted to happen. Like they thought this was going a different direction, and then they're like seeing where it went, and they're trying to figure it out. Like they're trying to make sense of it. This is usually a decision card, but I feel like they're trying to weigh out like what happened and why, the reality of it, and what part they played in it. Like they're trying to balance out like what is going. Why did this happen? I feel like they're a little like hurt because they didn't see this coming. But they don't understand you to begin with, so it shouldn't really be that much of a shock. But it doesn't seem like it's an overwhelming shock to them, because they realize like they didn't really understand you to begin with. But they're trying to understand like what could they have done differently. Like they're trying to go through their head like, why did this happen this way? Why did this end up this way? I feel like there's a lot of mental activity here, even though it's a Pentacle card. I'm kind of feeling like they're internally like trying to make sense of what happened. And I feel like you still have connections. I feel like there's mutual connections here. And that you're kind of on the fringe, and they're aware of you, and you're aware of them. But I get the Hermit card. Like, you're not really dealing with each other. You might be aware of each other. You may see each other here or there. Because I get the Queen of Rods on your side for just barely touching the Hermit. So I feel like you might actually go out of your way to stay away from this person. Even if you do have the same social connections, you'd rather not deal with them for a while. I feel like that just leaves them more confused. They have Listen to Your Intuition on their side for their last card, which I feel like the reason that's there is because they're realizing on some level that you don't really want to talk. You don't want to talk to them. You just don't. And they're staying away because of that. Like the Hermit card between you, it's like you want to avoid them. They get that and they're staying away. But I do feel like there's some type of social connection you have in common. And it's not like you couldn't talk, it's just you don't want to, and they're realizing you don't want to, so you avoid them, and they do their part to stay out of your way as well. And I feel like that's how this ends out. And I feel like that's all about this relationship you have with this person that seems to be, like, they nitpick a little bit, but they're trying to be positive, and you're aware of that, but you're just like, you're not a fan of it. And they're just trying to figure out how you fit, or like, they want you to flourish, and they're trying to understand how they can help you do that. They're trying to mold you kind of like them, and you're not into it. And you kind of move on from this relationship, however that is. So you don't want to work with them directly anymore, and that's the whole point. So you don't. And you want to, and afterwards you're just kind of like, I don't want to even deal with this anymore. And they get that, and they stay out of your way. I just feel like it's like a peaceful ending. I don't feel like it's really combative anywhere along this. I just feel like it's just a mismatch in personalities, and you're just kind of parting ways because you're just kind of like, I'm good. It seems kind of good. I mean, considering you're something you want to, it seems like, well, the reason it's ending is because you're taking the actions to end it. So as far as I'm concerned, that's you wanting to, or at least feeling like you need to, because it's just weighing on you too much. So I feel like it's going to end fairly well, and I feel like it's just kind of dissipate further after that. I don't feel like you're really going to acknowledge each other that much in the future, especially with the Ace of Cups reversed and the Hermit card. I feel like once you kind of part ways, you're just kind of done with each other. I don't feel like there's animosity. You're just done, if that makes sense. Just done. It's not anything negative, not anything against each other, just done. Okay. All right, I'm going to wrap that up there. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email at jamesforastral@gmail.com. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.